Scorpio, thanks for visiting. This is your reading for January the 6th to the 12th. And as I always ask you, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you would like to. And I'm just going to start right now. No more of that. Okay, so the first card you have your past is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so I'm getting I'm just looking at this wheel going around, and it really makes me think of ups and downs, and a kind of feeling in your stomach of like, oh, churning around. And sometimes you're fine, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. I think on the outside you seem to be very, very strong, very up. Yeah, on the surface you're very, very strong, really strong. And I think on the inside, the core of you was strong as well. It really was. It always is. You always have that strong core. It's always that. It's never going away. But yeah, I'm still getting these ups and downs. And I think you're a very, very strong person. And you grab what you have. You grab what your strengths are and you push them forward. And I think that's how it looks on the outside. When people look at you, they're like, oh, look at this really strong person. They've got everything together. They're fine. And you know, you do have everything together. I want you to know that. But when you have these downs, you know, it's like, oh, if people really knew what I was really like on the inside, you know, I'm really sensitive. I'm actually quite delicate. I feel things, you know, and a lot of people don't realise that. And you know, you're actually both those things. You're both of those things. And what I'm getting here is that you really need to embrace those two things. You know, when you're going through any kind of emotional disappointment, and it feels like that's what you're going through in this card, you know, you latch onto your strength, you latch onto the strong parts of yourself, and you kind of push down the gentle parts, the more sensitive parts, because they're the parts that hurt. So you kind of go, oh, that hurts, I'm going to push that down. And oh, I've got this strong bit, I'm going to raise that up. And that's fine, that works sometimes. But I think when you're going through something quite deep, you know, it's like you're almost denying that more sensitive part of yourself. That's what I'm getting here. I hope this is making sense. So, you know, if you are trying to heal, I think to be able to heal properly, you'll really have to embrace that more sensitive side of yourself, that more feeling side of yourself. You might have to do that when you're by yourself maybe, or you know, when you're in a quiet place. So if this is you, just let the feelings come up, just acknowledge them, know they're there, and just work with them when they're there. Just say, okay, that's there, I know why that's there, that's because I'm going through this. And if you keep on acknowledging and you keep on working with them, they'll go away a lot quicker than if you deny them. I don't know if this will help, but I was just thinking about this idea. I don't know if it will, but think of your more sensitive feelings as children. You know, if you ignore them, if you ignore children, if you don't give them time and love and energy, you know, first of all, they'll hurt more. They'll be very hurt, even more than they are already. So that's what will happen. Your hurt will hurt more if you ignore it eventually. And also with children, you know, they start to play up and they do all sorts of things for attention. They'll make themselves more known to you. They'll be after more of your attention if you ignore them, and that's like those feelings. So give that side of yourself a bit more attention. Let yourself heal properly. That's the advice I'm seeing there in that card. You can't heal properly unless you acknowledge your feelings. So I hope that makes sense to someone who needs to hear that, because I think someone's really trying to heal and they're really struggling with that. So I just want to say that to someone. Okay, so the next card you have your past is the High Priestess. Yeah, this is a beautiful, very sensitive card. There's more sensitivity here, and it's spiritual, obviously. So, okay, this might sound a little bit strange, but I'm actually seeing organisation here, and you know, you don't usually see organisation in this card. It's not really about that, but I'm getting this feeling of this is what you were thinking. I think it's like, right, it's a new year. I was a bit burned out last year, and I think you were. You know, you did a bit too much, and so now you're going to organise yourself. This is what you were thinking at this time. You're going to organise yourself so that you can let that spiritual side of yourself come through. And you needed to organise your time to let that happen, and organise everything to let that happen. And you have a really, really strong spiritual side. I can see that. But I think part of that last year was hidden. A big part of that was hidden. That's just the impression I'm getting, because it feels like you're all about the struggle and the striving and the pushing and the achieving, because you're quite burnt out. And I think that's why I'm getting that feeling of being burnt out. And you're still like that. You're still achieving things, and that's fine. That's who you are, part of who you are. But what I was seeing in the Wheel of Fortune was that softer side, that more spiritual side. You're pushing that down, and I think this year that's going to come through a lot more. That's what I'm seeing. So, and if you're single and if you're looking for someone, that spiritual side of yourself, which is the most authentic side of yourself, that's your true side. When that shines through, and it's going to shine through, it's going to radiate from you. I can see that. It's really beautiful. It's golden energy. So when that radiates out, it's going to attract that same kind of energy back to you. A really sensitive, really caring energy, an authentic energy. And that's what's been missing for you in love. And yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Authenticity. Yeah, there have been too many inauthentic people around you. That's what I'm getting. So you're going to start to be your authentic self out and about with people, and they're going to be that way to you, and you're going to open up to love, friendships, a lot more authentic people. So that's going to change as you open up this new side of yourself. Well, it's not a new side, it's always there, but you're going to open it up a lot more. Now, when it comes to love, this is if you're single, obviously, you might attract some people who maybe, how do I put this? Let's say maybe they're not visually your type, but that's all part of the authenticity. And there's something that you're going to have to navigate through. You're going to have to really navigate through all this. Oh, they're not really my type. They're not really what I'd usually look for looks-wise. I'm usually going for this type. I'm usually going for that type. All the feelings are there, but I'm not sure. I think you're really going to grow with the new people in your life on a very deep level. It's not a surface level. It's a very deep level. So there's a little bit of a struggle with that, I'm seeing. But yeah, this is a really good thing. It's really beautiful. There are always lessons that come with this, and you're going to be working through a lot of those lessons. So just know that you're going to have lessons that come with this. Really beautiful, though. Okay, so the last card you have for your past is the World. Yeah, these are really, really good cards. I'm still feeling this struggle. I'm getting this struggle around you. This need to heal and the struggle with that, but you're going to get through that, and that's authenticity as well. Whether there's nakedness, wherever there's nakedness in tarot, and it's on this card, obviously, it can be about different things, but a lot of the time it's about not being ashamed to be yourself, not being afraid to be yourself, being your true self, having nothing to hide. So that's what this woman's doing. So that's what you're going to be like. You're not going to go around naked. But, well, I hope not. Well, maybe you will. But, excuse me, you won't have anything to hide. You're going to be your true self. And that's what is going to inspire other people to be their true selves. And that's what's going to attract these more authentic people to you. And, yeah, I'm getting this boldness, this outer boldness and this outer strength. That's what it feels like on the outside. Look at this woman. She's being herself. She's in the middle of this laurel wreath. She's very bold. So the way you're coming across to the world is it's quite bold, I think. It looks really empowered, actually. That's how it looks on the outside. I don't know if you're a role model to someone. It might be that you're a teacher or you're on display. People look up to you in some way. You might even be an actor. I don't know. But if this is you, it looks like you're used to being strong for these people who look up to you. And maybe that's why I was seeing this compartmentalizing your feelings. I have to be strong on the outside. I have to be strong on the outside. So you might have a job where you have to perform in a certain way, something like that. So maybe that's where that's coming from. Okay, there's one other thing I'm seeing in this card as well. I don't want you to worry, so don't worry. But if you have a job where, say, for example, you're out in public or you're visual in some way, because that's what I was seeing. I was seeing acting, it might not be that, or teaching, something where people see you. Something where you're out there, if that makes sense. Now, you're not in danger or anything like that, but I'm getting a feeling of being watched. I'm surprised the Page of Swords isn't here actually, but yeah, I think someone might be struggling to let you go actually. And I think you might know they're watching you. Yeah, you can feel their energy. You can feel their energy around you. You can feel that very strongly. You pick up on these things, and I think you can feel that energy. But you know, there's this need for authenticity. There's a need to move forwards, so you're not going back. You're not going back to anyone. You're moving forward. And you've got the Wheel of Fortune and the World card here, and when you've got them together, that means huge change, and it's directed by you. And you're in charge of this change. So, you know, you're in charge of your world now, and it's changing. You're not going back. Definitely not. That's what I'm seeing. You're not going back to that person. You are not. So you might block them. You might have already blocked them. Okay, I'm getting that really, I know that sounds really blunt, but I'm getting that really, really strongly. Okay, so the first card you have here present is the Queen of Cups. Yeah, there's a lot of sensitive energy, very feminine energy. It's in this whole reading. Okay, now, there's something creative. There's something creative here. It really feels like this is something that's really bubbling up inside you. It's like it's a creative thing. I want to do this. I want to do this. Now, I'm seeing acting. I've seen that in a couple of places. It might be that. Doesn't have to be. But what I'm seeing is you're watching other people do this particular thing. Or you're seeing the work that they've done or that they're doing or something like that. You're watching this. I'm seeing a lot of watching here. And I think what's happening is you're watching these people doing this. Or you're watching the finished product and you're saying, well, I could do that, I could do as well as that, or I could do better than that even. And you can, you absolutely can. You know, the only difference between you and them is that, you know, they've taken the time to do this, and, you know, they've made the moves to get themselves out there. That's all you have to do. You can absolutely do this. Yeah, it feels like you've got this idea maybe. I know this is going to sound a bit strange, but I'm going to say this. It's like, oh, if I do this creative thing, it might clash with what I'm doing now, it might clash with my image or something. I don't think you're telling many people about this thing that you want to do, because if you look at this queen, you know, she's thinking about something, she's deep in thought, and she's staring into this cup. But she's got a lid on this cup, she's got a lid on things, so you might not be telling people about this. If you're worried about image, and I don't mean that in a superficial way, in a kind of a vain way, it's really about how people at your work see you. And I was seeing in the World card that you might have some kind of job where people look up to you. So it might be that. But you know, this is a new age for you. This is the age of authenticity for you. This is what's happening here. So I think you're going to reason this all up and you're going to say, well, no, this is what I really want to do, so I'm going to do this. So I think you're going to start this thing. And I'm seeing education around this as well. So you might, you know, you've got the Three of Pentacles here, so I'll talk about that here as well. So it might be something that you might be formal education. You might go into doing a course in this thing. There's an admissions process, which is what I'm seeing in the Three of Pentacles. You know what, you don't need to learn this. You don't need to learn anything. You can do it anyway. You don't need this. But, you know, this is probably something you want to do, even though you don't need to, and that's fine. You can do that if you want to. I'm not telling you what to do. But you don't need to do that. I just want to tell you that. You have the skills. You have the talent to be able to do this anyway. But anyway, I think it is a good thing for you to be doing this learning, actually, because... okay, this is what I'm seeing. This is very strange. There's a building by the water, or it might be that when you're in this building, you can see the water from the building. So I think that's where you're going to be learning, in this particular building. And you're buying equipment, you're buying everything you need. yeah, a whole new world's going to come into your life when you do this. Big creative world, new people are going to come into your life, you're going to have this shared interest. And if you're single, I think there might be someone around this, a special person that you might meet, and you have this shared interest with them as well. Yes, someone's going to be interested in you, I think, in this place of learning, or whatever this is. And the thing is, you won't be concentrating on love. You won't be thinking about that at all. You'll be thinking about your purpose, and they'll be thinking about their purpose, and that's what you're going to have in common. And that's when it's going to come in. So I really hope this resonates for someone. Well, you don't know yet, do you? But yeah, I hope you go to this place of learning, even though I don't think you need to, because you can already do this. Anyway, the last card you have, your present, is the Five of Cups. Yes. Yeah, really sad. Okay, so I think this is a little bit more serious than what I was seeing in the World card with this person who's watching you. There's a lot of regret here. I think they have a lot of regrets, this person. But I'm not seeing any changes, that's the thing. Yeah, this feels really stagnant, no movement. You know, it's like they want to walk back across this bridge. They want to come back toward you. And they're not saying anything at this stage, but I think that's how they're feeling. I have to say this is what I'm getting really strongly. They want acceptance, and not just from you, but from other people as well. They've burned a few bridges, not just with you. They've annoyed a few people, I think. But they want this acceptance without having to change. That's what I'm seeing. And someone's going to accept them. Someone's going to take them back. I'm seeing someone who's going to take them back. Definitely, literally, they're going to take them back. But it's not you. It's absolutely not you. It's not you. Yeah, I know I'm going to have some cross watchers here. They're really angry with me, but I don't care. I'm going to say this anyway. While this person has a soft place to land, and they have an actual place to land, I'm seeing this really clearly, someone's going to move them in with them to their place. That's what I'm seeing. But while they have people around them accepting their behaviour and wanting to take them in and all that, they won't learn, they won't change. They won't change. And, also, the other thing about this is, if someone else is ready and waiting in the wings to take them in, how many other people have been talking to them? Who else have they been talking to? You don't want someone who has a lot of people doing a dance around them saying, oh, pick me, I'm next. You don't want that. That's the opposite of authenticity. Okay, that makes me angry. So I'm going to go on from that card. That makes me really angry. Okay, the first card you have for your future is the Two of Swords. Yeah, look at this again. Look at how, firstly, look at this water. It's so stagnant. There's algae everywhere. Nothing's moving. There's no way you're going to take them back. Look at this woman. She's crossing her heart with her arms. She's got these swords sticking out behind her. So no, that's the answer. That's your answer. No, absolutely not. Now, if you're tempted to talk to them, if they contact you, and I don't think you will be, but, this card's also about two people who are against each other. And they're not seeing each other's side. They're not backing down. So yeah, not a good idea. Absolutely not a good idea to even talk to this person. And you know that, but I think this is just a little warning, because they might come in to contact you at some time, because in the Five of Cups there's that bridge there, and they want to cross that bridge. So that's why this warning's here, I think. I keep on getting this feeling that they like to have options as well. And I was seeing that in the Five of Cups. You're not an option. You are not an option, and you know that. So the answer is no. You're going to be like this woman in this card. All right, so the next card you have, your future's strength. Okay, okay. I'm just looking at these two cards together, and yes, something really different's coming up here. It's quite serious. I'm going to talk about these two cards together. Okay, so this is a completely different thing, completely different. And again, yes, it feels quite serious. I don't want you to worry. This is about someone who's close to you. And this whole situation feels quite vulnerable to me. And whoever's involved in this, they feel quite vulnerable as well. Okay, so I'll try and explain this because it's quite serious. Okay, now it feels like someone's been hurt, and it feels like bullying. It feels like bullying to me. Now, it might not be, but that's how this feels to me. That's what I'm picking up on. Now, I think someone's going to come to you. This is someone who really trusts you and they look up to you. And I was seeing a lot of people looking up to you in the World card. So I don't know if this is a student, because I was seeing teaching, or it might just be someone else you know. But it's someone who looks up to you. Now, I think they'll probably tell you something in confidence, and I think you'll probably keep a secret for them. It's not a bad secret. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not harming anyone. This is more about keeping confidentiality. So it's for a good purpose that you're keeping this secret. Now with this person who's trying to harm them in some way, which is what I'm seeing in the Seven of Swords, I'm seeing verbal harm. Because swords to me are usually words, and they're trying to take something from them, like this man, with their words. And I think they're trying to take their self-esteem, they're trying to take their sense of self. Yeah, it's really, really horrible. Now, it looks like you're going to want this bully or whoever this is punished, and I can absolutely see why. I'm exactly the same, because it's really horrible. But I think you'll probably have to hold yourself back for a while and just wait and see what this person who's come to you wants, because that's what the Strength card's about. Taming your temper or taming yourself. You wanted to get up and do something in a rage like a lion, but you can't do that. You have to tame yourself. So that's what I'm seeing there. There's a lot of sensitivity around you. It's all over this reading. So I think you'll handle this really well, actually, really sensitively. So if this is you and if you know what this is about, you might not yet, but if you do, I think the person who's causing these problems, I think they're going to be punished eventually in some way. But the big thing here is listening to the person who's coming to you, handling them really, really gently, and just being there for them, being someone who they can trust. And I think when they know they can trust you, you've been with them for a while, you've kept this secret, you've you've kept this with them, they can trust you, they know that. They know you've got them with them. I know this is weird. I know I'm bumbling my words, but I hope you understand what I'm talking about. That's when they'll probably go forward and want to push this and punish this person. That's what I'm seeing. But they need to build up that trust first. And they need to just have someone around them who cares for them. They just need an ear to listen to. And they need to have someone they look up to, they can trust. So that's what I'm seeing there. So yeah, I know that's specific. I just hope the right person gets to hear that bit there. So Scorpio, I hope a lot of this resonated, but general readings won't always resonate, as you know. But if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like to. And thank you for watching.